Hello, it's time for film number 2. And today we're going to see the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Hitman's Bodyguard, that's right.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
2 of our favourite people.
They really are.
Yeah. So hopefully this will be good.
Even though...
Hopefully...
Yeah, so we've decided to not listen to everyone who said it wasn't good. We're going to make our own judgment.
That's right, because it's important to have your own opinions, kids.
Yes.
And
especially when Ryan
adults.
Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson are involved.
Exactly. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm a AAA rated executive protection agent. And you're the most wanted hitman in the world. My job is to keep you out of harm's way.
Okay, right, so we've just seen the film Hitman's Bodyguard in 3 words, go.
Okay, my 3 words are guns, hilarious, and escapist.
Okay, and my 3 are personalities, explosions, and expected. Expected, yeah. So, cool. That's our kind of like non-spoilery, kind of vague encapsulation of what we thought. If you don't want spoilers, leave now. Shit's about to get real.
Certainly is. Hello! So we're back, and before we start, so we've done our 3 words, and before we get deeper into the sort of analysis and saying what we thought about it, do you want to give a brief overview of the film?
Yeah, so brief overview. Well, this is the thing. One of the reasons we chose this film is that we looked at it and we went, Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, yes.
That was sort of the extent of the conversation, really, wasn't it?
That was kind of it. And to be honest, you actually don't really need to know much more going in. I mean, it's called The Hitman's Bodyguard. You can probably kind of guess what's going on. So basically, Samuel L. Jackson plays a hitman, the best hitman in the world kind of thing. Ryan Reynolds plays a security, kind of personal security person. And yeah, basically, Samuel L. Jackson has to get from Manchester to Amsterdam, or Hague, because he needs to testify in the case of this Russian president who's on trial for a whole bunch of human rights violations and war crimes and genocide and all that sort of bad stuff. And Ryan Reynolds basically gets drafted in to protect him because Interpol is rubbish.
Well,
Interpol's always rubbish.
Interpol was rubbish mostly because the head of it, the deputy director of Interpol, was working for the guy on trial.
Spoiler. You find that out pretty early on.
I
though,
just wanted to protect the film
Yeah.
in that it's not actually just because everyone's shit. Like, there's an infiltrator.
This is very true. Well,
before-
the thing is, like, this isn't the first film where Interpol's kind of been a bit crap.
Well, no, but they've got to be crap in a way so that the people, like Ryan Reynolds can come in and save the day.
That's right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't need him.
Yeah.
Or he'd be in Interpol, and
Yeah.
then it'd be slightly less exciting.
This is very true.
So,
but I swear to God, like, there are loads of films that I can't name right now where Interpol is just always shown as like, because it's Interpol, it's like just bureaucracy and rubbishness.
Yeah.
And they're a bit.
Or there's a leak, or people, people are just
There's
betraying them
always
left,
a
right,
leak.
left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
So yeah, that's the basic
that.
overview. It's Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds kind of protecting one another, I
Really
guess,
amazing.
on a road trip from Manchester to Amsterdam.
Yeah, and it's great.
So yeah.
So what were your 3 words?
Okay, so my 3 words were personalities, explosions, and expected.
Okay.
What were your 3?
My 3 were guns, hilarious, and escapist.
Escapist.
Yeah. Can I explain the escapist thing first? 'Cause
I think we should unpack this. Yeah. Let's start with escapist.
Yeah, just because I don't know, it sounds a bit weird
Yeah.
on its own. But what I mean is, it's a really good film. I loved it. I really loved this film. But like it was a bit silly in places. Like there were things that you could, see right through or whatever, and it was just a bit like sort of like light entertainment, which is exactly what I needed. And we've been to see like quite a lot of sort of dark and heavy films recently. There's a lot of serious films. There's a lot of horror. There's a lot of, a lot of the trailers are all just like hardcore films that you go and see, and like there's a deep plot, and it's all like you have to take it really seriously and you have to kind of concentrate. Whereas this was not really that. It was just hysterical. It was just brilliant. It was so entertaining. But it wasn't silly in a way that I thought it was too silly. Like, it wasn't too silly for me anyway. Maybe this is just me. And I know there's been some sort of negative reviews of it, but I thought it was the right balance between silly and just brilliant and really just distracting. It's just a really good 2 hours. You just go, you just completely get lost in it. It's just really fun. And therefore, I thought it was so escapist because I just feel like it's the kind of film where you can watch and just get away from life, and it's just hilarious and totally worth watching.
Yeah, I think I think I agree with that. Like in a sense that so in terms of our words, I think guns and explosions. You guys can probably we don't need to unpack.
It's like
those.
a 2 hour film, 1 hour 58 of it is people shooting each other.
but escapist. Like I get what you mean. Like it's and this is what I kind of meant by expected and kind of personality as well, because we looked at it and we literally did this. We said Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson. Guns and explosions. Let's watch the hell out of that because we love those two actors. We love the characters they portray, and it's kind of that film where it's just kind of we've got two great actors. We won't really have much of a script. Let's just have a few we'll just pencil in some action sequences. So it's basically a high concept thing. Road trip A to B. Shenanigans occur, and that's it. And that's enough because they're so good. And yeah, Ryan Reynolds is just sarcasm personified, and Samuel L. Jackson is on his motherfucking best because he says that word this is Samuel L. Jackson, he's going to say that word once every 5 seconds.
But you want him to.
You want him to because no one says motherfucker like Samuel L. Jackson. It's so, and they even joke about it in the film. They joke about Ryan Reynolds says, "You've spoiled the word motherfucker for me," and it's just it's so entertaining. If you like those two actors, and this is what I meant by personalities. If you like those two actors, I think you're gonna really, really like this film. And you're right. Sometimes you just want to go to the cinema and just lose 2 hours in just kind of mindless entertainment. You don't I love thinky films. I love films that you can really get into, definitely. And we'll probably get into a whole bunch on this series. But
yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to go in and enjoy the spectacle.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was very enjoyable. It was very watchable.
It's incredibly watchable. There was only one bit that seemed a little tonally off. There's a bit where kind of it ends up almost getting a little bit terroristy in terms of sort of like a massive van comes down the road laden with explosives bound for The Hague, and you're like, shit. That was the only moment that kind of, because I guess in a sad way, is because it's quite reflective of stuff that's happened in the real world, sadly, quite recently. Here in London, quite recently. It's I don't know. For some that pulled me out of it ever so slightly, and it just got a little real rather than being just pure escapism. But the rest of it, yeah.
I mean, there was some silly things that were kind of irritating as well.
Oh god, yeah.
The whole suddenly, just when it really counts, the bad guys forget how to aim, and so they're shooting at Samuel L. Jackson for about 10 minutes without hitting him when he's absolutely on open water, no cover whatsoever.
He's literally standing in an open boat.
10 people right behind him, just shooting machine guns at him, and they all miss. It's well, that's convenient.
And it works the other way as well. Samuel L. Jackson, in his first action scene, he has a no-look kill. He sort of just swings his arm back around him and pops the guy in the head, and then at the end, he can't hit his target on a roof, and he's only 15 meters away. And you're like, what? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that was really silly.
There are a few silly things. Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson get split up in Amsterdam, and everyone's after them, kind of thing. And Ryan Reynolds gets captured, and they're asking him where Samuel Jackson's gone. But the whole point of this entire film is that Samuel Jackson needs to get to The Hague. That's the whole point of this film. They know where he's going, but they're torturing Ryan Reynolds to try and get him to tell him where he's going. It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't.
Escapist is a perfect kind of word for it. So I think you won the word game twice now. Your words are just better than mine. But yeah, Escapist, I'd definitely go with that.
Yeah. It's one of those films that I could see myself watching. So I do really love Ryan Reynolds, and another of my films is Definitely Maybe, where he's just great. And it's a completely different film, obviously, but one of those films where I could just go and sort of, it's when it's just you're a happy place, and you just go and watch a film that you know that you love. And I can kind of see this being that film, one of those films for me. Normally that film is more like a sort of rom-com than an action film, but actually I thought that was so great. Just so entertaining. I just feel if I needed 2 hours out of real life, I could quite happily go back and watch that.
Yeah, it helps with this, like, the action set pieces are really quite good.
Yeah.
They're quite impactful as well. Like, I personally like a little bit of crunch to my action. Sometimes it gets a little bit too shaky cam, and you don't see, you know, it's a 15 rated film, and you get some nice impacts, some satisfying impacts, and they use it actually to some really good comedic effect. I won't spoil it here, but just because it's a road movie, there are some great moments.
There really are.
Like, there are some really, really great moments. And yeah, I think it helps that it's a really simple setup, it's a really simple premise, and it just allows these two actors to kind of shine light. No, it's not the most memorable film, and you know, I'll probably have forgotten it like later this week, but as you say, like, it'll be great to go back to, and just it's something that if you don't want to think about it, if you just want to just like a little bit of, because you used the word cathartic actually, and I said, and it was quite. I think that's quite a good description.
That was my first sort of. But I didn't know whether it was a good way to describe a film, but in a way it sort of is. Like, it's, you know, it's sort of similar to Escapist.
Yeah, because I think if I think about the term like blowing off steam, and that's just 2 hours of blowing off steam. Was, yeah.
I think the thing that I would think about this film is it is perfect for what it does, what it is. It does really well, and I think it's the same with books. When you think about them, like, there are really literary books, there are really sort of, you know, like, easy to read books, there are really difficult books, there are things, and none of them are inferior to any other. Like, yeah, some of them are less well written, but they're not inferior because in their genre they are what they are, and if they do that well, then that's all you need. And I feel like some people might compare this film to, you know, different kinds of films and be like, oh, well, it's not very good. And it's like, well, maybe it is a bit silly, maybe it's not amazing, maybe it's not, like, you know, gonna win Oscars or whatever, but it for what it is, I thought it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Yeah,
and it doesn't redefine action, or it's not going to set a benchmark for modern action in the same way that something like John Wick might, which, oh my god, John Wick is so good. We need to watch John Wick.
I haven't seen that.
But I think if you go in going, Reynolds, Jackson, 2 hours of action, I'm up for that. Yeah. I don't think you're going to come away disappointed. I mean, that's certainly what we did. And I think, my last word was expected, because it's exactly what I expected. I expected it to be Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson going on a road trip and getting into trouble, and it did just that with guns and explosions and Should we do our verdict?
Yeah.
No, you got to do. That doesn't make any sense.
Sorry.
All right. Do you want to do the count? You can do the countdown this week.
Hang on, do we do 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3? Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1.
Another double thumbs up.
Yes.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you gave this video a thumbs up. If you haven't, please do. If you liked it, hit subscribe for more stuff, and check out. We've already got one of these up on the channel as well. We will see you next week for some more spoiler alert filmage action. It's gonna be awesome.
Definitely. All right. Bye.
Bye.